All right, when you sign up to be an organ donor, you expect you'll save a life.
Absolutely. But we found in many cases the gift of life is actually being used to make others more beautiful, if you can believe that. 19 News investigator Alan Cohen has the alarming details.
One can only imagine the staggering grief over the sudden, unexplained death of your child, while at the same time fielding a barrage of phone calls imploring you to donate your daughter's organs and tissue to save other lives.
My responses were yes. I was in no state of mind to answer anything. I was in shock. I felt like I didn't have an option. I felt like I was pressured.
Last month, 19 News reported on the case of 17-year-old Vanessa Webb, an Amherst teenager whose organs and tissue were harvested and donated before an autopsy could even be done to determine her cause of death. Stewart is now suing the Lorain County coroner for giving permission to the organ bank to harvest Vanessa's organs and tissue before an autopsy. Time is of the essence when it comes to life-saving organ donations. A heart, kidney, lungs, liver are only viable for hours after death, and they're desperately needed by those with just hours or days to live.
Had I known what I know today, there is absolutely no way possible that I would have even considered it.
As 19 News discovered, the reality is while skin and tissue donation are used to treat patients with all sorts of devastating injuries, from burns to accident victims, they're also used for something else.
But it also can be used for cosmetic purposes, so it can be used in plastic surgery, nose jobs, facelifts, and it can even be used by cosmetic companies to test products.
Sharona Hoffman specializes in medical ethics at Case Western Reserve School of Law and says it's big business. Nonprofit organ and tissue banks around the country are raking in an estimated $1 billion every year, selling skin and tissue from victims of accidents, murder, and those who die from natural causes, like Vanessa Webb. The organ and tissue bank that handled the case doesn't deny it sells donated tissue to for-profit companies where it could be used for cosmetic surgery and the makeup industry. But in a statement, it tells 19 News it's proud and honored to help make those gifts of healing possible. Ultimately, it is the people who register as organ, eye, and tissue donors and the selflessness of their families that deserve the most recognition.
Tissue banks get the money, the donor or the family do not get the money. It can generate many thousands of dollars in profits. That includes use for plastic surgery, so that's big money as well, and it often isn't covered by insurance. The tissue banks will get money for providing the skin, the bone, the tissue for those kinds of procedures as well.
Hoffman says it makes animal rights groups happy. For years, she notes, PETA and other organizations have protested the use of innocent animals in cosmetic research. Some companies have switched to testing cosmetics on human tissue. In a statement to 19 News, the chief scientist for the trade group representing some of the nation's largest cosmetic companies says the personal care products industry has prioritized researching and developing alternative methods to animal testing, while numerous natural and synthetic test systems have been developed to mimic normal human skin. In some cases, donated human skin samples give the most accurate assessment of how the human body will manage such product exposures. But those who sign up to be organ donors at the DMV have no idea that in addition to saving lives, they're also signing up to make those who can afford it more beautiful.
First of all, when you sign up, at least in Ohio, you're only asked about being an organ donor. And so you don't even know that you're also being a tissue donor. So there aren't separate questions.
Ronnie Sokol represents Vanessa Webb's parents.
Yes, they want to help people with the organs, but yes, they also make a lot of money from it. And they really don't discuss that part.
Instead of taking solace that her daughter may have saved the lives of others, Jennifer Stewart has changed the designation that used to be on her own driver's license.
I used to be an organ donator. I'm no longer an organ donor because I don't feel like it's helping ones that are in need rather than ones that need it, you know, like an upgrade.
The cosmetic industry trade group goes on to say when our member companies use these methods, they do so with the knowledge that these tissue samples were donated with the intent of advancing scientific knowledge and follow all applicable ethical, legal, and regulatory standards, and the tissue samples are treated with the utmost respect the donors expect and deserve. Alan Cohn, 19 News.